Strategy is always really important here for this race, and I think these guys need to have a good run here. So, hey, it's going to be fun to watch.
This is a very important race for a number of guys hoping to be in that chase.
1, 2, 3. Go, brother!
You're out of mulligans, you're out of second chances. You get it done now or you don't get it done at all.
Stub your toe and there's not a Band-Aid big enough to help you.
Remember, guys, we race for a living. It's a lot of fun. Don't forget that.
When the checkered flag falls, a championship dream for some drivers will be over.
Pull back on that steering wheel.
Pace cars in, be ready.
Green flag. Green flag.
Green flag, green flag.
The man on the mission. He's got to run good today if he's going to make the chase.
Patient with it. You're doing an awesome job.
He's racing, boys. So much side-by-side racing.
A lot of guys complain about loose end right now. Freaking loose. Doesn't matter if we're going to crash at the win.
Oh, there we go. Trump's almost like every time this team fights back with a good run, they have something that fights them like this.
You talk about a miserable day, get wrecked on the third lap.
Man.
What do? You know there's going to be some people that take just 2 tires here. Maybe some people that don't stop at all.
Pit this time.
Beware, there's going to be some wacky stuff going on here with our pit strategy.
One in, right rear wedge.
So I'm sure there's going to be quite a few guys come in and try 2 and 4. 4 tires! 4 tires!
Right here, swing it in, put it right on the side.
3, 2, 1, right here. Push it back, push it back, push it back! Just got to beat him across the line here, Bob. Here they come. Lift it up, guys, lift it up. Slide it in there.
Starter fluid.
Now the 10 car with Riggs and Stall.
Dig. Guys, great recovery there, great recovery.
I need a bottle of water with 2 price fillet.
It's Prill effect, Tony Jr.
You don't put them in water before you take them. He come up with water there in the straw. Laying in the bottom of that bottle on the back straightaway is what it is. How close was he to me right there? He was right alongside. I need a number, like 3 feet, 2 feet. Okay. Basket right now. 3 feet. 10-4. Just wondering, so I know what that feels like at 3 feet. I'm trying to figure some things out here.
Right now there's 7 to go. It's going to be a shootout here. Just have to drive the hell out of it and see what happens.
All right, buddy, let's go get some spots now. Come on.
Come to me.
If it's in your hands, the best hands it is. Just do what you've been doing. It's all yours.
White flag is out.
White flag, bud. White flag.
He has closed in, eliminated that 5-car length deficit.
Clear. Drive away from it.
You are my hero.
His second consecutive win in the night race at Bristol.
Don't want us to get hot.
Completes the sweep at Richmond.
Good deal. You're in and the 20 is out.
After the stuff we went through, guys, that's awesome to make it right there. Good job.
And Tony Stewart will not defend his championship.
Daytona, the birthplace of NASCAR, the proving ground of legends, the home of the Daytona 500, the first race of the year. The legendary Dale Earnhardt won 7 Cup titles, but his career wasn't complete until he won Daytona.
The most anticipated moment in racing. 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Dale Earnhardt will come to the caution flag to win the Daytona 500. Finally, the taste of long-awaited victory.
The postseason had all the comforts of home for teams who qualified in each of its first 2 years. But it was a long road to the chase. First, they had to focus on the first race.
Our focus race day was really just to have a solid race day. You know, with everything that had gone on, if we could leave Daytona with a top 10, we were going to be very happy. I knew that if I stayed on the bottom of the racetrack and worked on the handling of my race car, At the end of the race, when everybody was fighting for the bottom, I would hopefully have the best driving car and could defend the lead if I was in that position. I look at someone like Dale Earnhardt Sr. It took him 20 years to win this race, and I've been able to win it in my 5th season at the Cup level. It's big. It's really big.
NASCAR was born in Daytona, but the Brickyard is the mecca of racing. At Indianapolis, Jimmie Johnson looked to live a second dream on a track that had been a nightmare for the 48.
Everyone in racing grew up looking forward to the Indianapolis 500.
Problems for Jimmie Johnson.
48 blew a left front tire.
Big smoke coming out the rear of the 48 machine. Tire did kind of come apart.
Slowly bringing that car back to pit road.
The 48 bounced back from the heartbreak of 2005 and cruised to a fairy tale finish.
Jimmie Johnson, the Lowe's 48 car, all over Dale Earnhardt Jr. Johnson going to work his way underneath. Dale watches up and opens the door for Jimmie Johnson.
I saw the checkered flag, saw my guys up on the wall jumping off the wall.
Jimmie Johnson wins the All-State 400 at the Brickyard.
Guys, I cannot tell you the respect that I have for you as a race team. You guys are the absolute best in the business. Thank you for your hard work.
To conquer a track that we've been terrible at. I mean, we have had so much trouble at that racetrack. So to come back and beat a track that's beaten us for years was very gratifying.
The 48 became just the second team in NASCAR history to win the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same season, as they raced into the chase for the 3rd straight year. In 2006, Jimmie Johnson and Matt Kenseth were the only 2 drivers to lead the point standings during the regular season. The 17's winning ways began in the second race in California.
Kenseth wins the Auto Club 500.
Good job, guys. Woo, that feels good.
The 17 won 4 races in 2006 and scored their 3rd straight chase appearance, bolstered by back-to-back victories at Michigan and Bristol, where Kenseth became the first driver since Dale Earnhardt to sweep back-to-back night races on the short track, on his way to clinching a spot in the chase.
Kenseth wins the Sharping 500. Kenseth has clinched a spot in the chase for the next Shakeup championship.
It's hard to win these races, and any time you can win these races these days. I mean, it's just it's really hard to explain the emotion, but I try to enjoy everyone and appreciate everyone because you never know which one's going to be the last one.
His 2nd consecutive win in the night race at Bristol, and the last guy to do that was Dale Earnhardt.
Racing in his 28th season, Mark Martin was a NASCAR icon.
I know that a lot of the fans look at me as someone who's never won a championship.
Martin made a name for himself with a racing style summed up in one word: consistency.
I've been racing for points since 1974. We are in a mode of trying to finish races, and we're not exactly trying to clobber anybody on the racetrack.
Mark Martin is NASCAR. His success, longevity, and demeanor personify the passion that drives the sport.
If I don't make the chase in a year or 2, no one will ever remember, except me. I wish it didn't matter to me, but it does. I understand. I've done this stuff a long time. I've wadded a lot of race cars up. I think I have a pretty good judgment at this time in my career on what risk is worth the reward.
The focus of Martin's career is simple and straightforward. In 2006, that approach once again paid dividends.
to make sure that we're in a position where we can run for a championship. You never know when you can hit the magic.
At Richmond, the Chase lineup was finalized. Kenseth claimed the regular season points title. Jimmie Johnson finished a close second. And Mark Martin kept the dream alive. For those three drivers, their third straight appearance in the Chase had all the comforts of home.
Driving the Budweiser Chevy, Junior is the king of cheers, but this year has left his fans with bitter race face.
Jeff Gordon is 67 out of the Chase, thanks in part to some bad luck over the last month or so.
I tell you right now, this guy right here is, I feel like, is on thin ice. And if there was a panic button, he needs to be hitting it.
Jeff to make the Chase no-brainer, right? Heck, he won the Daytona 500 in 3 of the first 9 races. Problem is, Jeff stopped winning and tumbled from a solid second in the standings to an almost human 15th. So, do you feel lucky?
It doesn't matter right now. Everywhere we go, we stink. Yeah, we're human. We're going to make mistakes.
The last of the bubble drivers, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Between the sweetness of the Chase or a season that could leave a very bitter taste.
The 8 is smoking, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
If anyone believed that Junior still had a shot, Cinderella Man season going up in smoke.
Oh, yeah. Dale's made a few bad movies. This too shall pass.
When Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Gordon failed to make the Chase in 2005, both teams made changes. And both teams' changes started atop the pit box. The 24 replaced crew chief Robbie Loomis with 25-year-old Steve Letarte.
Thing is going in the right direction. It's a slow process. It's not, going to happen overnight. We know that. We just hope that over the next, several weeks, we just gradually start seeing improvements.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. took a trip back to 2004 and a reunion with one-time crew chief Tony Eury Jr.
Dale has been reunited with his cousin Tony Eury Jr. In the past, they have been a 1-2 punch knocking out the competition.
Will there be any more crew changes or motor changes or car changes?
Probably not the person to ask, but hopefully there ain't no driver changes. That's all I'm worried about.
In 2005, Tony Stewart captured the Nextel Cup, leaving Gordon and Earnhardt looking up to the 20 and looking ahead to next year.
You've got to take your hat off to Tony Stewart. He's a great competitor and race car driver, and that team, has worked hard and done a great job all year long. But I can't. I hope that I'm up there having some fun with them next year.
For Gordon, 2006 couldn't arrive soon enough. He started the year with hopes of returning to the Chase, but the season did not start well. At Bristol, the 24 fell victim to the bump and run of Matt Kenseth.
Jeff Gordon just got by Matt Kenseth for third space.
Oh, and look at this. The 24 just went around.
He's not happy with Matt Kenseth.
Good runs, but inconsistent finishes left Gordon dazed and confused. For Earnhardt Jr., consistency was becoming a familiar feeling. At Martinsville, the number 8 showed a champion's character. With Earnhardt Jr. behind the wheel and Eury Jr. on the pit box, the Budweiser team overcame 2 wrecks to post a top 5 finish.
Real proud of my team, man. You guys have been awesome.
All the guys in the shop have got a real positive attitude compared to last year. I got a lot of good people turning wrenches and making things happen for me. But Tony Jr. sort of orchestrating the whole deal is a big deal. What's the difference? Tony Jr.
Come on, bring her home, Junebug. I believe you got yourself one there, buddy.
At Richmond, the number 8's campaign of consistency paved the way to victory lane.
When I look at the caliber of crew that I have and the caliber of equipment that I have, you sort of have expectations of winning and being able to compete.
On the right turn road course of Sonoma, Gordon righted the ship and tied Dale Earnhardt Sr. for career wins.
A 19-race losing streak is history. Jeff Gordon wins the Dodge Save Mart 350 at Infineon Raceway.
King of the road right there, boys.
Best road racer I've ever seen. Man, you are good. Guys, the pit crew 2, you guys deserved it. You've been better than that car all year long. You guys deserve it.
In Chicago, the 24-second win was served with a side dish of revenge.
Gordon is there, and he is wanting the lead.
Oh! Kenseth goes around off the front of the Gordon.
Jeff Gordon finally goes to victory lane. He wins today in the USG Sheetrock 400 at Chicagoland Speedway.
So damn proud of you. I'm proud of all you guys. Spectacular job, all of you. Spectacular.
Making the chase is a challenge, even for the best teams. After the worst year since his rookie season, Gordon was back in the hunt.
It's a lot easier to have a good year when your car's doing all the things you want it to do, and when it's not, it's a handful, and it's a long race. It's a long season, and I think he and I both dealt with a little bit of that last year. We made some big changes, and I think they're paying off for us.
In 2006, fans of Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt Jr. went from "We've missed you" to "Welcome back." In the postseason chase, both fan favorites would be among the odds-on favorites to win the Nextel Cup. Welcome to the neighborhood, first-time chase contenders. Denny Hamlin chased down 2006 Rookie of the Year honors. Twice at Pocono, he started first and finished first. In his first win, the rookie showed veteran poise.
Oh, we got something else.
I thought the engine died at first. I started getting closer and closer to that tunnel turn.
Hold her brake, hold her brake.
And I realized once the tire was down, I needed to go ahead and spin this car out before I get to the corner. Luckily, that's probably what saved us the race.
After crew chief Mike Ford delivered the damage repair, Hamlin delivered the FedEx car to victory lane.
Guys, checker flag. Great job, Denny. Great job.
Majority of the races won aren't about the car. To have the limit, which in actuality should have taken us out of the race, to see that and then still come from behind to win the race, it was a lot more enjoyable than going out and leading all the laps and winning the race.
It's struggling. It's just still right. Have fun with it, man. It's a good job, buddy. I'm proud of you. Real proud of you.
Hamlin posted 3 top 5 finishes in his first 15 races. Casey Kane posted 4 victories in that same span. The 2004 Rookie of the Year's first win of 2006 came in Atlanta. In the Lone Star State, Kane outshone the competition, starting on the pole and finishing in victory lane.
The fastest drove all day. Number 2 on the year.
Awesome job today, Casey. Awesome job, man. I'll do something different than victory lap this time. See if you can think of something. I don't know what.
Kane won the shortest race of the year and the longest race of the year. At a rain-shortened day in Michigan,
it is official, and that's your winner, Casey Kane.
And a marathon night in Charlotte.
The goals that we set at the start of the year was to bring cars home in one piece and get in the chase. I've never been in the chase, and I think if you're not in it your third year in Cup, you better figure out as a driver how to get in that chase, and I've been trying to do my part this year and just keep up.
2005 Rookie of the Year Kyle Busch started his sophomore season showing poise beyond his years. In their second Cup campaign, the number 5 collected 15 top 10 finishes and 1 checkered flag.
Is there any way to take this one next week? Let's get this one done this week first, won't worry about that. Big run with the 99 get here, bud. Hell yeah!
Kyle Busch finally wins in 2006, milking the fuel right down to the very last lap.
We're just going about things the mediocre way. We're not really trying any harder than we were earlier in the year to win races or anything like that.
Don't want us to get hot. Don't want us to get hot.
If we do get any hotter, then it's going to be war. It's going to be on.
It comes down to who wants the most. You know, who's most determined to do this, who's most determined to give the most to win this championship, to get in the chase. If we can keep this level of determination and intensity, I feel like we've got a good shot.
1994 Rookie of the Year Jeff Burton led Richard Childress Racing to resurgence in 2006.
I disagree with the theory that it only matters if you win or lose. Now, it does only matter if you get in a chase or you don't. But the key is to understand where you are. And if you forget why you got to where you got, then you can't get better.
Burton made his team better by using veteran grit and guile to grind out top 10 finishes.
Just the fact that he's come back up to be in the 10th position for the finish, that says a lot.
All right, buddy, let's go get some spots now. Come on. Good job. Go get the 48 now. He's all yours.
Jeff Burton and Jimmie Johnson for 9th. Burton slide the save.
Still there. Still there. Clear, clear.
Jeff takes the position.
The singular team had a long-distance plan, season-long consistency, big-picture racing. Burton wasn't the only RCR team to hit a hot streak. On a desert night in Phoenix, Kevin Harvick's quest for his first postseason appearance shifted into high gear.
Let it go, Harvick! That's what I'm thinking right now, don't you, Billy? What? I'll save it, baby.
Biggest thing we have to do is just keep doing what we're doing. Just keep trying to keep the consistency of the race team and put ourselves in position to win races. And you're not going to win them all. You just have to put yourself in position to have an opportunity.
The 2001 Rookie of the Year made all the right moves, including the right turn road course of Watkins Glen, where Harvick aced road course ace Tony Stewart.
Kevin Harvick has gone to the afterburners. He exits turn number 1.
He got loose getting into the last corner, and I had a good entry to the corner and was on the throttle and able to get up underneath him.
Oh, he's wiggling in front of you. You got him. Got the weeble wobble.
He can see the checkered flag. Kevin Harvick wins at the Glen.
How about that? Awesome job, guys. Awesome job.
While Harvick was in the fast lane for the postseason, Casey Kane's road had taken an unwelcome detour.
Oh, Casey Kane is like the last corner, isn't it? Yep, second week in a row.
The last. After a fast start, the number 9 hit a wall.
Well, Indy and Watkins Glen, that was 2 weeks in a row. That was pretty rough.
The number 9 was 90 points out of the chase, with 2 races remaining to make up lost ground. To achieve the improbable, the strategy was clear, if not daunting.
It's lead laps and win the race. That's all I could think of to do to gain points. I mean, that's all anybody could do.
90 points is a lot of points to overcome. The last in 2 races, especially with the competition you're running against, you know, they don't just give away points.
It was a first-year driver who opened the door for Kane's 5th victory when rookie Reed Sorensen ran out of gas.
The 41 ran out. The 41 ran out.
And watch Casey Kane come roaring by in that red car. Casey Kane to the lead.
You're clear by 40.
Casey Kane came in here 11th in the championship standings. Gonna beat everybody and put himself in position to make the chase.
Richmond's going to be pretty much the same thing, I think, as California. We've got to go there and run good, and there's a couple guys we've got to beat by about 10 spots.
It's going to be an exciting race. The points are going to change throughout the whole race, and just hopefully we're on the right side.
Richmond would be the deciding battle. On a clear, early autumn night, 5 contenders raced their way into the second season. Denny Hamlin battled a bad car to become the first rookie to make the chase. Another top 10 finish, and Jeff Burton finished 9th in points. Casey Kane finished 3rd as the Dodge team dodged elimination. Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch offered a preview of chase intensity.
White flag is out.
Harvick's right there. He has closed in now, eliminated that 5-car length deficit, and he's on the back bumper of the leader. Kevin Harvick with a masterful move in traffic.
Good job.
Kevin Harvick completes the sweep.
Awesome, boy. Awesome.
Good deal. Good deal. You're in and the 20 is out. Good deal.
After the stuff we went through, guys, that's awesome to make it right there. Good job tonight. Really good job.
5 contenders were rookies to the chase. All 5 were one-time Rookie of the Year winners. 2006 was a year of firsts. For some teams, making the chase was something simply expected.
Good job. Just wait till you do it for like a couple of years and you're expected to be in it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I really got nothing to lose. Yeah, screw that.
For 5 drivers, Ryan Newman, former Cup champion Kurt Busch, Roush racers Carl Edwards and Greg Biffle, and defending champion Tony Stewart, the road back to the chase took an unwelcome detour. On the sun-baked beach of Daytona, a new season dawned. In the first race of the year, the number 20 discovered that 2006 would be a rougher ride than 2005.
Man, they're in the wall!
Oh, Gordon's in the wall! He may have gotten touched by Tony Stewart!
The man known as Smoke drives with a fire that can fuel victory or burn his team.
Far in the grass, Matt Kenseth.
Kenseth goes off in the grass, driving in a straight line up the racetrack and collects no one.
20 wrecked me, guys. The 20 wrecked me plain as day.
Trouble up in turn number 3. Jeff Green turned out of the racetrack. Back up and into J.J. Yaley, collecting Joe Nemechek. Carl Edwards is up and over one car, and they're locked together, sliding down the racetrack.
Carl Edwards and Greg Biffle finished in 3rd place and 2nd place in the 2005 chase. At Daytona, they finished much worse.
That's exactly right. Crash behind him. Crash behind him.
At California, in the next race, Biffle looked to get back on track. The 16 led the most laps. Then, engine problems shortened a dominant day.
It seems like it never fails. You know, you're going to have some bad luck at some point or another in the season. Any one thing, you can go from the front to the back so easy.
Got something going haywire there with the motor?
Drop the cylinder.
Doggone it. How bad is it right now?
It's broke, Doug. It's broke.
In the garage, guys.
In Phoenix, Biffle's engine was fine. The problem was fuel, or lack thereof.
He's out of fuel. He's out of fuel. Gives up 2nd place to come to pit road.
Definitely we haven't got off to the start that maybe everyone hoped, or maybe ourselves even hoped to get started with.
2006 wasn't without its highlights. At Darlington, the 16 held off a NASCAR legend to claim the checkered flag.
Biffle's big lead is just about gone. He'll pull up on the back bumper of the Kenny Schrader machine, and Jeff Gordon is there.
One more time. He's 5 back. 5 back.
He's been able to shake Gordon by about 4 car lengths now.
That way, baby. Nice job.
First of the year.
That's right, boys. That's right.
God, that feels good again.
Doesn't that feel good to be back in the saddle?
We got to get into the chase. That's still our goal. I don't think it's out of the question, but we have to have an awful lot of luck to do it. And as long as we run good, we can get there.
Winning his old hat for 2004 Cup champion Kurt Busch. In his first season behind the wheel of the number 2 car, Busch used his short track skills to bump and run his way to victory at Bristol.
Go now, Kevin Harvick just a car length and a half back.
There he goes. Into 29, Kevin Harvick's going to go by him as well. White flag. Here comes the 29. Can he get to him? We're still green. Busch wins it. I'm glad it raced over with.
Kurt, you're awesome. Good job.
A new beginning for Busch would prove to be his last victory in 2006. At the next half-mile track on the schedule, it was Tony Stewart who turned back time to 2005 and took home the grandfather clock in a dominant win at Martinsville.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Hell yeah!
High fives all around.
Good job today, guys. Proud of all you guys.
Things were looking up for the number 20 when NASCAR returned to Daytona in July. Stewart looked to make up for earlier mistakes.
So they come off turn number 4 down to the start-finish line. Caution, and the checkered flag is waving. And Tony Stewart is the winner of the Pepsi 400 at Daytona.
We're running good. I think we're preparing good race cars. Our driver's mindset is, he can go out and win every week. He can win this championship again.
While Stewart had orchestrated a mid-season comeback, Ryan Newman was walking the line, struggling to stay in contention.
I think the biggest challenges we've had to overcome this season, first of all, was a really tough offseason here at Penske Racing. Secondly, we were a little behind on some speed secrets and things like that to be able to be super competitive, and we started the season really bad at the intermediate tracks between Texas, Charlotte, Atlanta. They're all very similar, so if you can usually do good at one of those places, you're doing good at all of them.
For Newman, the road to the chase had taken its first major hit on the intermediate track of Texas.
Got a car headed up toward the wall. It's the Ryan Newman machine. He spins and hits the outside wall in turn 1.
We've talked about pleasant surprises in 2006. This has been one of the biggest disappointments in 2006, this 12 car, their performance on qualifying day as well as on race day.
The Lone Star State also caused Texas-sized trouble for Carl Edwards.
So much side-by-side racing.
Comes Cousin Carl in that 99 car. He goes to the high side. He'll take the second spot away from Denny Hamlin. Oh, there we go. Trouble.
Carl Edwards, he spins, hits the outside wall, nearly collects Tony Stewart.
It's almost like every time this team fights back with a good run, they have something that fights them like this.
Edwards' teammate Greg Biffle also struggled at Texas, thanks in part to former Roush teammate Kurt Busch.
Big wreck. Whoa. Biffle. Greg Biffle in the 16 car. Greg Biffle dominant and ends up with a huge problem.
For Biffle, dreams of improving on a second-place finish in the 2005 chase had slowly seeped away. In 2006, no team had led more races, but it would not be enough to send the number 16 back to the postseason. In 2006, no team won more poles than the number 2, but that success failed to translate to race day. In a late-season race at Watkins Glen, Busch held the lead, but bad luck on pit road ended his road to the chase.
Hit this lap, hit this lap, hit this lap. 39, 39, 39. North south, 39, 39, 39. You made it before the lights came on.
If he didn't get on pit road before it was closed, then it's going to be a problem. But if he did, it's a great call.
Hey, Mark, when they called caution, there's no way they could have been to pit road, could they? How could a 2-car be here doing this?
I'm down. He pitted too early, but he was already on pit road, so they're just doing the pit stop. He's going to start at the tail end.
The official is there. Oh, the red light is on. How close is that?
Committed there.
They're saying we got to go to the rear, Kurt. Got to go to the rear.
The former champ would have to wait till next year. For the defending champ, a strong start had hit a late season slump. Crew chief Greg Zipadelli was burning the candle at both ends. But he could only watch as Smoke's season went up in flames.
Crash on the front stretch. Carl Edwards and Clint Boyer are in it.
Feels like he's getting squeezed up by Boyer. You'll see his hand come out the window. He's bad. He turns into Boyer. Unfortunately, Boyer spins and takes out an innocent Carl Edwards.
He's in one of his moves.
The 20 of Tony Stewart has been black flagged for rough driving. Maybe the only thing that can keep Tony Stewart from winning the championship is Tony Stewart.
You go back through and you look at, we had some accidents that were out of our control. We had some motors fail that we don't normally fail. Chicago this year, we had really good fuel mileage, but we ran out with 2 to go or something there.
20's out of fuel.
All the things that didn't happen to us last year is kind of the things that we dealt with this year.
For the number 20, the 2006 season became a learning experience in the language of adversity. To add injury to insult, a broken shoulder blade dealt another crippling blow to Stewart. When the postseason chase started, 5 of 2005's participants were absent, leaving their fans to lament, "Wish you were here." At Richmond, a season-long war came down to one decisive battle.
The 11 of Hamlin has a motor issue, running on just 7 cylinders. Gordon has a brake issue. Earnhardt Jr. has a brake issue.
The 24 car can lock himself in if he can gain one spot and just hover there for the rest of the night.
Now Tony Stewart is the odd man out.
All he can do is try to see if he can pick up a few more spots. He is starting to run out of time.
Hey guys, that's everything I have.
Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick battled to a last lap finish.
He's already clinched a spot in the chase for the next top.
Good job.
Kevin Harvick completes the sweep at Richmond.
Love that, boys. Awesome.
Tony Stewart would leave Richmond left out of the chase, unable to defend his title.
And Tony Stewart will not defend his championship.
Good deal. Good deal. You're in and the 20 is out. Good deal.
It takes 26 weeks to get to this point, but we just missed tonight. I'm still proud of this Home Depot team. They've done a great job. Wish the guys that made the top 10 good luck this year.
Greetings from the chase. The racing world was welcomed to a picture-perfect start to the 2006 chase to the championship. 10 races to determine a new champion. 10 drivers who believed that their time was now.
So important getting into this race, but now you have to build new momentum to carry it through all the way to Homestead.
There's a lot of guys coming in here on a high, and I think that helps get you through those next 10 races. You need to just stay focused, and you need to be consistent. If you have trouble at this race, the first race of the 10, it's a deep hole to climb out of. It just ruins you emotionally. So, hey, it's going to be fun to watch.
Start at 10 fun races for us. Jimmie, be safe, buddy. Take a look to your left here, just a little bit past our finish. Big thumbs up.
The chase began. For every team, the goal in the early going was the same: stay out of trouble. Easier said than done.
Nobody's fault, just being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Jimmie Johnson took a hit on the track and in the point standings. Kevin Harvick took the checkered flag and the chase lead.
He comes off of turn 4, no one will catch him. The chase begins at New Hampshire, and Kevin Harvick wins.
Oh, what a way to kick off the chase, going to victory lane. Kevin Harvick does it today here at New Hampshire International Speedway.
With his second straight win, Harvick had the early momentum. 1 race down, 9 to go.
Very fast track. The fans have packed the place again. Round 2 of the chase.
Tony Stewart spins in turn 4.
Casey Kane just gets collected.
Square to go.
The defending Nextel Cup and one of the top 10 Chase contenders in trouble just 11 laps into the going here in Dover.
Casey Kane watched Chase Dreams pass him by. Other contenders would join him in the garage.
I don't think the 29 is going to see the end of this race because I just saw a lot of smoke come out of that car.
Kevin Harvick came in as the championship leader, now headed for the garage with 33 laps to go.
One Richard Childress racing team would lose the points lead. Another would seize it.
Coming up on 10 laps to go, Jeff Burton needs to make it happen, and he needs to make it happen now. He shot the whole shot. He leads by a fender. Half a car length. He's got him this time. Jeff Burton takes the lead away as they exit turn number 2.
Clear, clear, clear. All right, buddy, drive away from him. Moving up high. He's going to try the outside on you. Good job, good job. Settle in now, settle in. He can't catch you. 5 to go.
A strong run by Matt Kenseth would run out of gas.
Matt Kenseth growing smaller in the rearview mirror. Kenseth's in trouble. Kenseth is off the pace.
Out of gas. Get ready, guys. Get ready. Hurry up. This really killed us, you guys. This is stupid.
Matt Kenseth dives down to the apron of the racetrack as Jeff Burton rolls off turn number 4 and will take the white flag.
The singular wireless Chevrolet carrying Jeff Burton home.
Long road back. Jeff Burton's going back to victory lane.
You guys have resurrected my deal. Thank you so much. Good job. Woo! All right, fellas, that's how we lose championships. Good job on the car. Bad job. We should have pitted, I guess.
Jeff Burton had become the chase leader with his first win since 2001, and he also become NASCAR's Cinderella Man.
Newman rolls going around. Right in front of the Jasons.
Right in front of Jeff Burton.
There was a lot of smoke from him. I couldn't really tell on the replay, but it didn't look like it. There certainly was no contact, so that's cool.
At Kansas, Burton dodged an early bullet, but Jeff Gordon could not escape bad fortune.
Gordon off the pace.
Batteries. Listen, fuel guys go over, cookies stay back. Open the hood. Johnny, go over, see what you see.
The car will turn over, but it doesn't appear it has any fuel getting to it.
Somebody tell me how that happened. Somebody figure that out.
While the number 24 tried to calculate what went wrong, fuel mileage calculations would determine the final outcome.
Trouble for Casey Kane coming on the pit road. He spins his Dodge.
With 2 laps left, the number 48 took advantage of the number 9's misfortune and quickly dove down pit road. As it turned out, a bit too quickly.
Jimmie Johnson too fast exiting pit road. Tony Stewart's going to take the checker flag and coast across the finish line and win. That's unbelievable.
We win this thing? All right, way to go, Posse.
Tony Stewart's first fuel mileage victory was just the start of a series of strange events. At Talladega, teams tussled to move up in points. But for Jimmie Johnson and Dale Earnhardt Jr., the promise of progress was short-circuited, 1 lap short of the finish.
It is showtime at Talladega Superspeedway. We're down to 2 laps to go.
Who's going to throw the first punch here at Talladega? Dale Earnhardt Jr. has 48 and 25 teammates directly behind him.
Earnhardt Jr. leads last lap.
Who's going to blink first as they hug that outside wall, taking the highest possible way around Talladega? Anybody's got a plan. We've got to see it now. Junior drops down a lane, trying to fend off Jimmie Johnson.
There he goes. Junior.
The 48. It takes out Earnhardt and Jimmie Johnson.
Caution is out.
Get her fired up, get it across the liner.
The 48's misfortune continued, but the Lowe's team looked to make postseason improvements on their home track, the Lowe's Motor Speedway.
After tonight, just 5 events remain in the chase for the championship. So for some of the guys, it's not necessarily how many points you are behind, but how many guys in front of you that could really cripple your championship chances. Jimmie Johnson looking for a place to get well, and this is his house.
Charlotte marked the halfway point of the chase. At the start, Kasey Kahne jumped out front.
5 bonus points for chaser Kasey Kahne.
Already 1 lap into it. Coming along the front stretch. Denny Hamlin's
Not much you can do when you get run over in a situation like that.
He still get run over.
Into him. Yeah.
Rough racing brought an early end to Denny Hamlin and Mark Martin's night. A blown engine ended Jeff Gordon's race and possibly his chase.
Blow up, guys.
Looks like another terminal problem for Jeff Gordon, who just cannot break the bad luck cycle he's had here in the chase for the championship.
Not meant to be this year. No, but you guys, out from lack of effort, you guys have been awesome, man. We're real proud of you.
Kasey Kahne sweeps at Charlotte.
Number 6, Douglas! Woo!
A season sweep at Charlotte rekindled Kahne's chase chances. Jimmie Johnson finished second. 1 week later, no one stood in the 48's way.
I'd like to see. Bring it to the line.
Johnson wins the Subway 500 at Martinsville.
Yeah, boys, great work. What a pleasure to drive this race car today.
The Lowe's team had been all but counted out. The consistent finishes kept the 48 consistently moving up in the chase. In Atlanta, their steady progress continued.
Good job, Jimmy. We were just as fast as he was. He just got out there before we did, man. Sorry about that.
Good job, man. We beat everybody in the points. We didn't have the best car, but we did at the end of the race. You guys did an awesome job in there working on this thing. Thank you.
In Texas, Tony Stewart once again crashed the postseason party.
3 to go in 2006, and this is Elimination Day. When the checkered flag falls here at Texas, the championship dream for some drivers will be over.
Looks like they cut down a tire on that singular wireless Chevrolet. And Jeff Burton, who just a few weeks ago, everybody was describing as the Iceman, the guy with the lock on the championship, and it is gone now.
And that's going to be it for him in the chase for the championship this year. They cannot overcome this with 2 races left.
For Jeff Burton, early fortune had hit a roadblock. His chances saw an early nightfall in the Lone Star State. He was not alone.
Blew up.
Say what?
It blew up.
We blew up?
This blew up!
10-4. Get it back here best you can.
This is the way the chase has gone for the 9 team.
Under caution, he blew up. They're pushing the car back behind the wall.
Kasey Kahne's chase debut did not end as planned, even as another team intended to make Contenders glad they didn't make the chase.
Outside the chase for the Nextel Cup Championship, cannot defend his title, but he can be strong down the stretch.
Checkered flag will go to Tony Stewart as he wins the Dickies 500.
Boy! That's the way to finish this day off. Hell of a car, buddy. Hell of a car.
Good job, Jimmy. Good job, Chad. Whole team, good job.
Jimmie Johnson completed the comeback and claimed the points lead, even as Tony Stewart proved that on the track, the 20 was the team to beat.
2006 championship year coming down to 2 races to go.
After Texas, every chase team changed points position. With 2 races left, 2 contenders battled for 1 checkered flag.
Johnson's got the momentum. Harvick's going to try and step away off of 4. Johnson's not going to get him. Kevin Harvick sweeps at Phoenix.
Awesome job. Harvick gets the victory. Jimmie Johnson comes home in second.
Good job, guys. Awesome job.
Good job there, Kevin.
He damn it through the grass. I had his ass.
All right, it's all right. Did exactly what you needed to do today, buddy. Good job. Good effort.
For the 5th straight race, Jimmie Johnson finished in the top 2 to take a 63-point lead in the chase. Homestead would be the final stage. Who would steal the show? 40 weeks, 35 races, 19 states, one final battleground. The odyssey that is the NASCAR season reached the end of the road. Welcome, Homestead.
We've raced for 10 months. It all comes down to today and the season-ending race for 5 guys who could win the title. Contenders for it going in today are Jimmie Johnson, leading by 63 points. Matt Kenseth, the man in second. Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick tied for third, both 90 points out. And the long shot, Dale Earnhardt Jr., 115 points out of the top spot.
But the man in the spotlight is championship leader Jimmie Johnson. If Johnson finishes 12th or better, he clinches the cup.
Should Jimmie Johnson have some kind of a problem early, it will really turn into a heck of a dogfight.
A lot of attention has been at Jimmie Johnson because he's got this nice little points lead, and he's the guy that can give it away. All these guys are just going to go out, trying to win the race, and see if they can steal this championship away.
Greg Biffle will roll off 16th today. He's a 2-time winner here, and if he can win today, it would go a long way toward getting his team ready for 2007.
Take a look to your left here. Let's get a big thumbs up. Let's go out there and rock this on our last race of the 2006 season. Thank you for a great year, pal. Four boys, let's go out and have a nice, steady, and smooth day like we have. You guys are the best, man. I can't thank you enough for putting me in this position. Look forward to a good day today. 4. Have yourself a great day. Be ready.
For one final race, the green flag flew. For championship leader Jimmie Johnson, the final 400 miles on the road to the Nextel Cup would not be a smooth ride.
Checking on championship leader Jimmie Johnson, who in the first opening, trouble.
Oh, and Kurt Busch blows a tire right in front of the face of traffic.
Caution in front of you, in front of you, in front of you. In front of you.
The leader's ducking and diving to avoid the Kurt Busch car that just came off of pit road.
I don't think this is fixable.
Brake rubber, I think it hit the nose. I just want to make sure it didn't hit the balance. It was bouncing down the track. I think I caught it.
Huge gaping hole on the right side of her nose.
With their season on the brink and their fate in their hands, the 48 turned to teamwork.
Turn in, turn in. Get a big piece of tape for the right side lower grill, guys. The tape, don't go. Do not go. Guys, where's the tape? Go, go, go. All right, wait. All right, go. Well, there's our drama for the day. How you gonna pass all those trucks? There's nothing you can't overcome. Boy, we're lucky we brought something close to our Indy setup. Seems like it's same story, different track. Let's go, buddy. Green flag.
Jimmie Johnson restarts 40th.
And that's a scary place to be when you're the points leader.
This shows you how fragile the championship point situation is. Right now, Matt Kenseth leads Johnson.
Outside, inside, in and out. Clear, clear. Bubby, you look like a professional out there.
Jimmy, you're back in 15th now, buddy. 15th.
Without reflection, the journey is lost. Through reflection comes focus. On the journey, the pit stop is not a time of rest, but a time of focus.
No mistakes, damn it. Got to get her head in this.
On pit road.
4 tires and fuel, quarter down, left rear. 5 away. Turn in, turn in.
2 tire change again for Matt Kenseth.
Clear, all clear, all clear, all clear, all clear.
A season of focused preparation helped catch a mistake before it cost the season.
You ready? Take your tape. Stop, stop. Get him, get him, get him, get him.
They had a lug pop off the left front.
So heads up on Chaz Park.
Go, go. Outside 1, outside 1. Clear behind the 12. Just need to regroup it here a little bit, guys. Nice and easy. It's all good.
Bring it back down. Got to get that left front tight.
2 lugs were still loose on that left front.
No, it only took us 170 laps to get where we were at. Now we got to start all over. Nice and smooth means nice and smooth.
In every journey, there's a point of no turning back. It's the defining moment that separates bravado from bravery. The 48 would rise to the moment.
Yaley brings them to the restart line.
Jimmie Johnson, he just wants to get through these next laps clean. That's all he wants to do.
But it's still not clinched. He's still got to finish.
In the last laps of a season-long odyssey, would Jimmie Johnson's story be penned by the hand of legend?
So the question is, can Jimmie Johnson hold on for the championship, and can Biffle hang on for the victory?
Ready here, bud. Be smart. You know how to do this. 2 laps. Pace car's off. Be ready.
Green flag in the air for the final time this season.
The final green flag waved, and Homestead's reigning champion re-emerged.
Last lap of the season. Jimmie Johnson in the 48 car, closing in on the championship.
Smart driving, Bubba. Smart driving. Clear by 3. That's it, bud. Just bring her home. Oh! Nice job, Greg Biffle. Way to go, guys.
Coming to the finish line. Greg Biffle goes 3 in a row at Homestead. And Jimmie Johnson is the 2006 NASCAR Nextel Cup Series champion.
No, we got it, baby. We got it. You're the champion. You are the absolute best. I love you to death. Thank you so much for everything. Johnson, you are the man, buddy. Woo-hoo! GG, thank you for picking me, bro. Buddy, it couldn't have been a better one. You're awesome. Way to go.
Awesome job. Awesome. Yeah, baby.
In his final race with the number 16, crew chief Doug Richert tasted one last victory. A sweet ending in a bittersweet day for Roush Racing. Where the road to the Nextel Cup ends, a new journey begins. For Jimmie Johnson, Chad Knaus, and the number 48 Lowe's team, champagne showers christened the birth of a Nextel Cup champion.
Thank you.